Yes, T-Raw Beats back on your screens to make some banging beats. Doing this one a little bit late, but been listening to Travis Scott's new album, Utopia, and there's some banging tracks on there, and I got a lot of inspiration, and I feel like I had to cook up something on a similar vibe. So within this beat here, it's kind of like Travis Scott with a little mix of Toliver, because I feel like those two combined together create like the waviest tracks. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of a beat breakdown that I did from the one shots that I've got from my newest pack. Some crazy instruments and crazy sounds in there. Here's some quality guitar one shots. So it's the closest thing to kind of getting real sounding guitar VSTs, especially on the iPad. And I feel like one shots, obviously they're low in CPU. If you use them in the right way, you can cook up some wavy beats. So let me just show you a few of these here. So with one shots, what you can do is, depending on kind of like the sound, you can time stretch it so it can slow the sound down a bit. And what you need to do is turn up the polyphony as well. So that means it can play more than one note at a time. So I turn this up to 6 because I probably won't be playing more than 6 notes at a time. And this what gives it its source. So let me just give a little... Just nice sounding guitars on there, and something which, you know, it's enough to kind of get a bit of a basic idea put together. So I used this guitar for my first part of the melody here, and as you can see, here's the pattern that I've played in. So in the B major scale, I feel like, you know, sometimes with the dark trap beats you can go with the minor scales, but you know, don't forget about the major scales as well. So my thought process behind this was, so I did a B major chord and I just inverted this D sharp to another octave, so it's up there. I've got my range of notes in between here, between these two. I just played with going down and up the scale with some of the notes inside there as well. And as you can see, I go up 5 semitones, which still works within this scale as well. So I'm going to play that out so you can have a little listen. That's what you tend to hear in a lot of their Utopia sounds, as well as Don Toliver's sound as well. You hear the melody and it's got a reverse effect, or you reverse the melody just to create a bit of ambience. So what I did is I got the melody that I just played with the guitar, I recorded it into another bank, then I just reversed it on here. Let's listen to that normally. So I just reversed it. And then for the second part, so stick with me, trust the process. Once some effects get added onto here, you know, I'll be able to bring out certain elements. So within this one shot pack that I've got together, I've got some of the elements of the guitars just to make it sound a bit more realistic. So, you know, the accents, like they get a stopping of the strings when you're playing them. So just have a little listen. So that just gives it a really nice element just to make it sound a bit more realistic. So I've added that into a separate bank here, and let's listen to them both together. So it's those little textures and accents that kind of just bring it together a little bit. So with those two elements there, with the guitar one shot, reverse, and then added the guitar accents, I put them into another bank and then recorded it in and added some more effects into it. So it ended up sounding like this. For the effects on this one, I just added in a high pass filter just to take out some of the lows, and I got the slow machine, which is basically half time, and I've got the reels as well. So this is another desktop plugin, which, you know, it's amazing, kind of like another version of RC20. Also, I got the Pro R, which is my kind of like go-to reverb now. And as I was saying, with the presets, it's more or less the standard, but turned down the mix to about 14%. And I turned the character down to chorus to give it that vintage tape kind of effect. And for the second part, I just wanted a bit of variation. So with the first melody there that I added with the effects, that's kind of in a lower frequency. So I just wanted something as a bit of a switch up and variation within the higher frequency. So I just kind of pitched it up an octave. So let's have a listen to what that one sounds like. So you can hear that high-endness and a bit of a variation, which it sounds similar towards like the lower part, but with it being brought up an octave, it just brings out another vibe and also just gives it that little bit of ear candy as well. So for the effects on this one, pretty much the same with the high pass. So I added in a pan flow, and this just makes it go towards left and right ears, kind of like the pancake. And this just gives it that really nice ear candy and just movement within the mix. So for the third part of the beat, I just wanted a little bit of ambience going in the background, something which is going to be brought in and out, which is a little bit more ear candy. So for the third part, I went back to the guitar one-shot bank here with all my guitars in, and I got like a little Spanish guitar. So this is literally the same pattern that I laid out early on before, but it's with a different type of guitar. So it sounds a little bit more in the high end. Trust me, stick with me with the process. So I know it sounds a little bit tinny, but with some effects and some elements added in, we can really make this fit within the mix and behind the other melody that I did at the start. But I recorded that same MIDI into another bank, which is going to be like my accent part. And here it is here, I recorded it into the bank and literally just sped it up a little bit. Let's have a little listen to see what that sounds like. So with that element that I've got there for the effects, just did a bandpass. So just sculpting out some of the frequencies that I want to hear, some more in the high end, taking out some of the low. And I added in a tape pro, which is from Kalim Audio, which is kind of like another RC20. But you've just got a lot more effects that you can add in as well, with a bit of the distortion, different kind of cassette types, the saturation, left and right ear. I'm a big fan for some of these tape delaying vinyl effects. I know they pretty much all do the same thing, but each one has their own kind of separate source. I had the pan throw here as well, so I had that within the 48% mix just to give it a little bit more movement within the mix, and with the Pro R as well, just to kind of duck it in the background a bit and give it a bit more ambience. So this is my pad from my upcoming one-shot kit. This is something which you can layer up some of the actual notes with, and just have a bit of ambience within the background. Really nice texture and vibes along with the guitar sounds as well. So with that pad one shot, I just laid out this pattern here, and essentially it's kind of like following the root notes in the fifth and just kind of going up the octave and just following some of the notes within the scales here. So let's have a little listen to that. So it's some really nice ambience to add in the background there. For the effects, just a magic switch from Baby Audio, you know, just a nice bit of chorus in there. And the crystalline reverb, this is one of my other favorite reverbs that I've been using a lot more now. And just kind of like default preset with a little bit low in the mix, but it just gives it that bit of brightness. Literally all that together kind of just brings out the really nice elements. So let's listen to what all of that sounds like together. A bit of the high end. Beautiful. For the last part of the loop, just added in a bit of a respace, a bit of a kind of like a distorted-ish respace, just to give it a little bit of vibe in the mix. So let's have a listen to what that sounds like. Let's move on to some of the drums. So very basic drums here. This is part of my new drum kit as well, Realist Source Volume 2. This is a snare in every half bar. So for the hi-hats, so I added kind of like a two-step hi-hat, very simple, with just a few odd rolls here and there. Just wanted to Keep it a bit simple and just not overcomplicate some elements within the hi-hats. Not too many rolls, but just enough to give it some bounce. I've got to add in some perks, you know, just to give it some of my own unique sauce. And all these within my Realist Drum Kit Volume 1 and Volume 2. So 2 fire drum kits that I've literally been my go-to for the last 2 years. So let's have a listen to some of these perks that come with it. Can't help but have to add another one. And the whole aim is not to kind of cloud up each space with perks, but just to bring some of those perks in and out of the beat. So for my Realist Drum Kit Volume 2, there's some of my open hats. So with all these elements here, by the way, within actually arranging the beat, you can take in some of these elements. So within the loop, I kind of get everything all together. So when I'm rearranging, I can add in and take away as much as I want. So for the 808, this is part of my Realist Drum Kit Volume 2 as well. So let's have a listen to that. And that noise, what you can hear there is the reverse 808. So let me just show you it. It adds in a really nice element, I think. So let's hear it all together with all the perks. Just to bring all the drum pattern together, just some kicks just to bring some body behind some of the 808s. Some more. So I'm just going to play it and just add all the little bits of the elements together. And then accent. Bass. See, that's it. Just like a wavy beat. Definitely can hear Travis Scott giving Utopia vibes, as well as Toliver as well. Them two, when them link up together, them two just bring out some waviness. And as always, leave a comment down below with any tutorials that you want me to kind of do next. And if you're liking the content on the channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell so YouTube tells you when I release another gem. That's it for me. Peace.